Good morning, Chris from Headache and Pain Management Centre here for another Facebook Live video, and today we are talking about tennis elbow, which is a common thing that often people get, particularly people who use their hands quite a bit, might be on the tool site, often nurses, cleaners, these sorts of population. It's actually quite common to get what is called tennis elbow. If you're joining us, type in below and say hello. So tennis elbow, what is it? Well, tennis elbow is, it's sort of the informal name for a condition which is called lateral epicondylalgia, if you can, pronounce that, certainly difficult to spell. And basically where it is, it's on the outside of the elbow. So where you actually find it, I'm going to see if I can do some gymnastics here with the selfie stick so that I can do it. So it's actually just on the outside of the elbow here where you feel this really nasty pain. And it's generally when you're gripping things. So when you're holding on to like a kettle or a weight of some sort, or if you're trying to move your arm outwards, you get this pain so very locally on the outside of the elbow. And the cause of that's actually from a couple of things. Firstly, at a local level, it can be because the tendon which joins into the outside of the elbow gets a little bit, it's not as strong as it could be, and it gets a bit reactive. So there's a bit of a response that happens there which causes pain. And it's typically the muscle that moves, ironically, your middle finger. Okay, so I'm not going to do that on the camera, but the test to actually find out if it is that tendon is to do some resisted movement on that third finger to see if it reproduces the pain. It's a really funny thing to do in the clinic when you sort of forget to, you know what I'm saying. So basically, when you've got a tennis elbow, a pure one, it's the tendon that actually caused the issue there. Some other causes of pain on the outside of the elbow can actually be referred pain from other areas too. So you can actually get some issues coming out of the neck down into the arm because there are a bunch of nerves that run sort of around there as well. So it can be diagnosed as tennis elbow or lateral epicondylalgia, and it's actually diagnosed incorrectly. It's actually coming out of the neck and it's causing an issue through there, or it can be referred pain from perhaps some trigger points in your shoulder. So the first thing I would say with regards to tennis elbow is make sure that you've got the diagnosis right first, so that you are dealing with, so you know what you're dealing with, so you know what the treatment needs to be, and a really good assessment can help with that. But what we're talking about today is, as we know, there's a lot of different products that are out there with respect to how to keep going when you have a tennis elbow. So a lot of different braces, a lot of different splints that can be sold in the chemist, that are sold, Chemist Warehouse, online, and these sorts of things. G'day, it's good to see you there. Just seeing some people joining in a little bit later, so just type in and say hello there. So these braces for tennis elbow, there are two quite common ones. The first one is kind of like a strap, and I don't have them here on me because we don't actually have a lot of them here, but basically there's a strap that goes around your elbow, sort of around there, like that. Okay, so it's sort of like an elastic strap that goes around, which takes a bit of the stress off. And the second one is like a full elbow brace, which sort of goes not just around, but it sort of moves from here up to there and sort of envelops the elbow and gives it a little bit of support when you've got a tennis elbow. And what the research from the conference that I was just on the weekend was saying is that either of those braces are effective in giving you some short-term pain relief in order to keep things going. So regardless of which brace you'd like to use, both of them seem to have some evidence to give you some pain relief in that regard. Wearing a wrist splint for tennis elbow, even though it might sound a little obvious, doesn't do the job. It doesn't give any significant difference in your pain level. I guess the important thing to note about the use of bracing with tennis elbow is to realize that the brace is there to keep you functional for a short-term period of time. It's not something that you need to become reliant on, or you really shouldn't become reliant on it. And the reason why is because your muscles start to adapt and get used to the brace as being, part of its everyday thing. Once you take the brace off, you're in trouble. Whereas what you need to do when you have a tennis elbow is you need to work the muscles and get the muscles strong around that elbow to get the job done. So getting some exercises with your wrist, some exercise, because basically when you move your wrist, by the way, so in that direction like that with your wrist, it's actually the muscles around the elbow that get affected when you do that. So some wrist exercises are a good start for that. And then also getting some shoulder work as well to make sure that you're taking any stress off the shoulders and also off the neck as well. Because basically when you have that outside of the elbow pain, it's never I wouldn't say never, but it's very rare to have just one thing happen. It's rarely just the tendon on the outside of the elbow that's causing it. It's usually some other things that have caused that tendon to be a little bit grotty in the first place. So if you do have a tennis elbow, obviously 2 lessons here. 1, make sure you've got the correct diagnosis first to know what the cause of the tennis elbow is. And secondly, if you are wearing some sort of elbow brace, either of them is effective to give you some pain relief, but it won't give you relief in the long term. It'll give you relief in the short term, but you want to avoid getting reliant on using those braces to keep things going, because it will only end badly generally. You actually need to get some strength and some load into the tendons, and also desensitize the nerves that are going down your arm to get the best outcome. Hope that's been useful. Someone actually came in last week with a tennis elbow, which we hadn't seen for a little while, and thought it was a pretty good opportunity to talk to you guys about that. And if there are any questions about tennis elbow, please type in below, or tag anyone who has a tennis elbow that has had it for over 6 months and it's not getting any better. Because if it's been going for over 6 months, it's not getting any better, then it means that perhaps there needs to be a different treatment or a different diagnosis got to. And as I said, it can be the elbow, the shoulder, or the neck, which is causing those outside elbow symptoms. That is all for today. Just a short one for today. If there are any questions, please type below, like, share, and comment. And I will see you again soon for the next Facebook Live video. Cheers, and bye for now.